For 3 years, Dante Kim had ruled Seoul's underworld like a ghost. Cold, untouchable, and dead inside. Then she walked into his private club wearing a red dress and carrying secrets that would either destroy him or bring him back to life. If you like stories about broken men finding redemption through unexpected love, like this video. Comment below. Would you trust a dangerous man with a hidden wound? And don't forget to subscribe for more emotional mafia romance tales that will leave you breathless. Dante Kim's penthouse overlooked Seoul like a throne over ashes. At 34, his neck bore the black serpent tattoo that made grown men weep. His knuckles scarred from delivering justice the legal system couldn't. But tonight, alone with expensive whiskey, he stared at his reflection and saw nothing. 3 years? 3 years since the explosion that took his second in command and left him with shrapnel wounds the doctor said were survivable. They'd patched his body, but what they couldn't see, what no scan could detect, was the complete loss of his manhood. Not just physical, everything. Desire, fire. The very thing that made him feel alive. Women still came, models, heiresses. They wanted the monster, the legend. But when they touched him, he felt nothing, not a flicker. And the shame of it, the humiliation had turned him colder than winter in Busan. His phone buzzed. Another club incident requiring his presence. He crushed the glass in his hand, watching blood mix with whiskey. 3,000 miles away, Zara Johnson pressed her forehead against the airplane window, watching Seoul's lights bloom beneath her like scattered diamonds. 28. Curvy in ways that made her mother proud and strangers bold, she'd spent 6 years running from a past that wore her ex-husband's face. The settlement money had finally cleared. Enough to disappear, enough to start over. Korea seemed random enough, far enough, different enough that maybe, just maybe, she could become someone new. Her best friend's voice echoed in her head. Girl, you're running to the other side of the world because of him? Live. Lave. But living meant trusting again, feeling again. And Zara had built such beautiful walls. The plane descended. Seoul rose to meet her like fate. At Club Obsidian, Dante's presence silenced the music. His men parted like water. The troublemaker, some young fool who'd groped a waitress, went pale. Dante didn't speak. He simply looked. That dead-eyed stare that promised pain? Boss, he's not worth... Dante's hand moved, one punch, the sound of breaking bone. The fool crumpled. Get him out. As his men dragged the unconscious body away, Dante caught his reflection in the bar mirror. Still nothing. Still dead. He turned to leave. And that's when the club doors opened. Red dress, brown skin glowing under neon. Eyes that looked like they'd seen hell and walked out wearing lipstick. Zara Johnson had just arrived. Zara hadn't meant to walk into a mafia club. The cab driver had misunderstood her broken Korean, dropping her at Obsidian instead of the hotel Meridian. But here she was, and every eye in the room had turned to her. She'd learned long ago not to shrink. So she straightened her spine, lifted her chin, and walked toward the bar like she owned the damn place. Her heels clicked against marble. Her curves moved with the kind of confidence that came from surviving worse than stares. Dante watched her cross his club like a flame through darkness. Something stirred. Not physical, not yet, but something deeper. A flicker in the absolute void where his desire used to live. It was so faint he thought he'd imagined it. She reached the bar, ordered in English. Whiskey. Neat. The bartender looked to Dante for permission. Everything in this club required his permission. Dante moved without thinking. His men shifted, confused. Their boss never approached anyone anymore. You're lost, he said in perfect English, his voice like gravel and smoke. Zara turned, met his eyes, and didn't flinch. Most people couldn't hold his gaze for 3 seconds. She studied him like he was a painting she was deciding whether to buy. Maybe, she said slowly, Or maybe I'm exactly where I need to be. The air between them crackled. Dante's chest tightened. His pulse, dead for 3 years, kicked once. Just once. But it was there. This isn't a place for tourists, he warned, stepping closer. Close enough to smell her perfume, something warm, something like cinnamon and defiance. Good thing I'm not a tourist. Zara sipped her whiskey, never breaking eye contact. I'm starting over, and you... She gestured to his expensive suit, his dangerous aura. You look like a man who knows about second chances. Dante's jaw clenched. How could she see that? How could this stranger, this woman who'd walked into his club by accident, read the very thing he'd buried? You don't know anything about me. I know. You're broken, she said softly. No judgment, just fact. I can see it, because I am too. The room disappeared. His men, the music, everything. For the first time in 3 years, Dante Kim felt something stir in the graveyard of his chest. Not desire, not yet, but possibility. What's your name? He asked, his voice rougher than intended. Zara. Dante. Her lips curved. Well, Dante, since I'm here. Buy me another drink? He signaled the bartender. And everything changed. What would you do if a stranger saw straight through your walls? Drop a comment below. Dante shouldn't have stayed. Shouldn't have bought her that second drink, or third. But 3 hours later, they were still talking. Not about his empire, not about her escape from America. Surface things, books, music. The way Seoul looked at night. She made him laugh, actually laugh, when she described her cab driver's reaction to her terrible Korean pronunciation. When had he last laughed? But as the club emptied and dawn threatened, reality crashed back. He stood abruptly. You should go. Zara blinked, the warmth draining from her expression. Did I say something wrong? No. He couldn't look at her. This was a mistake. A mistake? She stood too, anger flashing. We talked. That's it. Why does that terrify you? Because you make me feel, he wanted to scream. Because for 3 hours I forgot I was broken. Because if you stay, you'll discover what I really am, and the disgust in your eyes will destroy me. You don't belong in my world, he said coldly, rebuilding his walls brick by brick. Go back to your hotel. Forget this place. Forget you, you mean? Yes. Zara grabbed her purse, hurt radiating from her. You know what? You're right. I don't need another emotionally unavailable man. I came to Korea to escape that. She stormed toward the exit. Dante watched her go, his chest hollow again. Good. Better she hate him now than discover the truth later. But then she stopped at the door, turned. For what it's worth, Dante, whatever broke you, it doesn't make you less. It makes you human. Then she was gone. Dante stood alone in his empty club, fists clenched, breathing hard. His phone buzzed. His head of security. Boss, should we follow her? Make sure she gets to her hotel safely. He typed back, yes, don't let her see you, and send me the hotel name. He told himself it was just precaution. Seoul was dangerous for a woman alone. But the truth? The truth was that flicker she'd ignited, that impossible, fragile ember, he couldn't let it die. Not yet. Back in her tiny hotel room, Zara kicked off her heels and collapsed on the bed. Stupid, she muttered. Stupid to think one conversation meant something. But her phone buzzed. Unknown number, Korean area code. The text was simple. You're right, I am broken, but so is everyone worth knowing. D. Zara stared at the screen, her heart hammering. Then she typed back, then maybe we should be broken together. 3 dots appeared. Then, same place, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Zara arrived at Club Obsidian at 9:03 p.m., wearing jeans and a leather jacket, armor disguised as casual. Dante was waiting in a private booth, away from the crowd. He dressed down too. No suit. Just black jeans and a fitted shirt that showed the serpent tattoo creeping up his neck. You came, he said, something like relief in his voice. Against my better judgment. She slid into the booth across from him. So, are you going to tell me what this is? Because I don't do games. Neither do I. He poured her whiskey from a private bottle. I don't know what this is, Zara. I just know that when you left yesterday, the silence was louder than it's been in 3 years. Her walls cracked. Just a little. I'm not here to fix you, Dante. I'm not asking you to. He met her eyes. I'm asking you to exist near me. For a while. Until you leave Korea. Or until you realize I'm not worth the trouble. Why me? Because you see me. Not the legend, not the monster. Me. Zara sipped her drink, studying him. What broke you, Dante? Really? His jaw worked. For a long moment, she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, 3 years ago, there was an explosion, a rival family. I survived. My best friend didn't. He paused, the weight of the unsaid pressing down. But I didn't really survive. Not all of me. The shrapnel, it took things. Things I can't get back. Understanding dawned in Zara's eyes. Not pity. Understanding. You think that makes you less of a man? I know it does. You're wrong. She leaned forward. My ex-husband was whole, physically perfect, and he still broke me in ways I'm still healing from. Your body doesn't define your worth, Dante. Your heart does. My heart's a graveyard. Then let's plant flowers in it. The vulnerability in her voice shattered something in him. I don't know how to do this, he admitted. How to be with someone. When I can't, we'll figure it out. She reached across the table, her brown fingers covering his scarred knuckles. If you want to. The touch burned. Not with desire, not yet, but with possibility. I want to, he whispered. Then let's start here. No pressure, no expectations, just two broken people choosing not to be alone. Dante turned his hand over, lacing his fingers through hers. For the first time in 3 years, he felt something like hope. 2 weeks passed like a dream. Dante showed Zara Seoul, not the tourist version, but his soul. Late-night food stalls where vendors bowed to him. Hidden temples where he went when the violence got too loud. Rooftop gardens where the city lights looked almost peaceful. They talked. God, they talked. About everything and nothing. But they hadn't touched beyond that first handhold. Dante wanted to. Desperately. But the fear, the shame, kept him frozen. Until the night Zara asked the question. They were in his penthouse, sharing takeout, when she said softly, tell me about her. The woman before. Dante stiffened. What makes you think? Because men don't shut down like you have over just physical trauma. Someone betrayed you. He was silent for so long she thought he wouldn't answer. Then, her name was Min Seo. She was everything, beautiful, ambitious. I was going to marry her. What happened? The explosion wasn't random. His voice went cold. She planned it. With the rival family, she was supposed to die too. Make it look like we were both victims, but she got cold feet at the last second. Ran. Zara's hand covered her mouth. Dante, my best friend died. I survived, but broken. And she? She took the money they paid her and disappeared. He laughed bitterly. The doctor said the shrapnel damage might be psychological, trauma-induced, but it doesn't matter. The result is the same. Have you tried everything? Therapy, medications? Nothing works. Because every time I think about intimacy, I see her face. I remember that the last woman I loved tried to murder me. Zara moved closer until their knees touched. I'm not her. I know. Do you? Because you're holding back from me like I'm going to detonate. I'm holding back because I can't give you what you deserve. The confession tore from him. I want to. God, Zara, when you're near me, I want to. But my body won't respond. And the humiliation of that, of wanting you and being unable. Hey. She cupped his face, forcing him to look at her. You think I came to Korea looking for sex? I came here running from a man who used my body and broke my spirit. What I want from you isn't physical, Dante, it's real. What if real isn't enough? What if it's everything? She kissed him then. Soft. Gentle. No pressure, no expectation, just connection. And somewhere deep in Dante's chest, something that had been frozen for 3 years began to thaw. The kiss changed everything and nothing. They didn't rush to bed, didn't force what wasn't ready. Instead, they built something more dangerous. Intimacy. Dante started coming to her hotel just to lie beside her and talk until dawn. She'd trace the scars on his hands, and he'd play with the curls in her hair. And they'd exist in a space where physical desire wasn't the goal, just being together was. Tell me something nobody knows, Zara whispered one night, her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. I write poetry, Dante admitted. Terrible, angry poetry. I burn it after. She lifted her head, grinning. A mafia boss who writes poetry? That's unfairly attractive. Your turn. I sing in the shower. Badly, like neighbors complain badly. He laughed, that real, unguarded laugh she was learning to cherish. I want to hear it. Never. Someday. Maybe. They fell into routines. Morning coffee at her favorite cafe, evening walks along the Han River, late nights at his penthouse where he'd cook for her. Because apparently the terrifying Dante Kim made incredible kimchi jjigae. His men noticed, whispered. Their boss was smiling? And slowly, so slowly, Dante began to feel it. Not just emotionally, physically. When Zara laughed, his body responded. When she touched his arm, heat spread through him. It wasn't complete, wasn't reliable, but it was there. One night, she noticed him staring at her with an intensity that made her breath catch. What? She asked, suddenly self-conscious. I can feel you, he said hoarsely. When you touch me, I can feel it. Not like before, not completely, but... Zara, I thought I'd never feel anything again. Tears filled her eyes. Dante, don't cry, please don't. She pulled him down, kissing him deeper than before. His hands tangled in her hair, his body pressed against hers, and for the first time in 3 years, Dante Kim felt like a man again. Not fully healed, not completely whole, but alive. They pulled apart, breathing hard. We don't have to rush, Zara whispered. We have time. I know, I just wanted you to know. You did this. You brought me back. We brought each other back. Have you ever met someone who made you feel alive again? Tell us your story in the comments. They held each other as Seoul's lights flickered outside, two broken souls discovering that sometimes the best healing happens when you stop trying to fix yourself alone. The photograph arrived on a Tuesday. Dante was in a meeting when his phone buzzed. Unknown sender, Korean number. He opened it, and his world detonated. It was Zara, from 10 years ago. Younger, thinner, standing beside a white man in military uniform. The message was simple. Did your American whore tell you her husband works for the CIA? Did she tell you she's been reporting on you since she arrived? Ask her about Operation Serpent. Dante's blood turned to ice. No, not Zara, not her. But the photo was real, he could see that. He dialed his head of security. Find out everything about Zara Johnson. Everything, I want it in an hour. Zara was shopping for groceries, humming to herself when Dante's text came. My penthouse, now. The coldness of it stopped her heart. Something was wrong. She arrived 20 minutes later. The door was open. Dante stood by the window, his back to her, radiating violence. Dante, what's He turned. The man she'd come to love was gone. The monster was back. Who are you? His voice was arctic. What are you talking about? He threw his phone. It clattered at her feet. She looked down at the screen. The photograph. Oh, God. Dante, I can explain. Explain? He laughed, the sound sharp enough to cut. Explain how you conveniently showed up at my club? How you wormed your way into my life? Into my heart? Was it all a job, Zara? Were you reporting back to American intelligence this entire time? No, that photo is from 10 years ago. I was married to that man, yes, but I left him. I divorced him. I came to Korea to escape that life. Convenient story. It's the truth. She moved toward him. He stepped, back like she carried plague. Don't touch me. The rejection felt like being stabbed. I fell in love with you, she said, tears streaming. That wasn't fake. None of it was fake. Love? He spat the word. You don't love me. You pitied me. Poor broken Mafia boss. Easy target. That's not true. Get out. Dante, please, get out! He roared, and for the first time, she saw the true monster everyone feared. You're just like her, just like Mincio. Except she was honest about wanting to kill me. You killed me while pretending to love me. Zara sobbed, her heart shattering. I love you. I love you. You love a lie, and so did I. He turned his back. She stood there, breaking, waiting for him to turn around. He didn't, so she left. And Dante Kim's heart became a graveyard once more. 3 days. 3 days of silence. Dante threw himself into violence, broke bones, made men disappear, tried to drown the pain in blood and whiskey, but every night alone he stared at that photograph. And something didn't add up. If she was CIA, why stay after he discovered her? Why cry like that? Why look at him like her world was ending? His security chief delivered the full report. Boss, she's clean. The ex-husband was CIA, yes. But their divorce was finalized 8 years ago. Restraining order, he stalked her. She fled to Korea with her settlement money. There's no operation, no surveillance. Whoever sent that photo wanted to destroy us. Dante finished quietly. He'd seen this play before. Divide and conquer. Make him weak by isolating him. Where is she? Still at her hotel. Hasn't left her room in 3 days. The staff says they hear crying. Dante closed his eyes, shame washing over him. He'd done it again. Let fear and trauma make him cruel. Pushed away the one real thing he'd found in years. I need to fix this. Will she forgive you? I don't know, but I have to try. Zara heard the knock and ignored it. She'd cried herself empty. Now she just felt numb. The door opened anyway, hotel keycard. She sat up, ready to scream at whoever. Dante stood in the doorway. Not the monster. Not the boss. Just a broken man who'd made a terrible mistake. I'm sorry. His voice cracked. Zara, I'm so sorry. Get out. Please, just listen. No, you don't get to do this. You don't get to call me a liar, throw me away, and then come back when it's convenient. You're right, I don't. He stepped inside, closing the door. But I'm going to anyway, because I love you. Her breath caught. I love you, he repeated, moving closer. And I was terrified, because everyone I've ever loved has destroyed me. So when I saw that photo, I convinced myself you were the same, but you're not. You're nothing like them. How do I know you won't do this again? She whispered. How do I know you won't throw me away the next time you're scared? You don't. I can't promise I'm healed. I can't promise I won't mess up. But I can promise I'll fight for you. For us. If you'll give me another chance. Zara stood, her eyes searching his. One chance, Dante. That's all you get. That's all I need. He reached for her. She let him. And they held each other like two people who'd almost lost everything. 6 months later. Zara woke to sunlight streaming through the penthouse windows and Dante's arm wrapped around her waist. They'd taken it slow, built trust brick by brick. There were setbacks, nights when his body still betrayed him, when shame tried to creep back in. But she stayed, and he stayed. And slowly, impossibly, they healed together. Last night had been different. Last night, for the first time, everything had worked. Completely, perfectly. Dante stirred beside her, his eyes opening. When he saw her watching him, he smiled. That rare, unguarded smile that still made her heart skip. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning. She traced the serpent on his neck. How do you feel? Whole, he said simply. For the first time in 3 years, I feel whole. She kissed him softly. Good? Because I have news. He tensed. What kind of news? The kind that involves me extending my visa, permanently. His eyes widened. You're staying in Korea? I'm staying with you, wherever that is. She took his hand, placed it over her heart. You asked me once why you. This is why. Because you fight for what you love. Because you're brave enough to be vulnerable. Because you make me feel safe even when the world isn't. Dante's eyes glistened. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do. And I don't deserve you. But maybe that's the point. Maybe love isn't about deserving. It's about choosing every day. Then I choose you. Every day. For the rest of my life. He pulled a small box from the nightstand. Her breath caught. Dante. Marry me, Zara. Not because I'm healed, not because I'm whole, but because when I'm with you, broken feels like enough. She was crying now, nodding frantically. Yes, 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 yes. He slipped the ring on. Her finger, a simple band with a black diamond that caught the light like stars. They held each other as Seoul woke up outside, 2 people who'd been shattered and had chosen to rebuild together. Thank you, Dante whispered into her hair. For what? For seeing me, for staying, for bringing me back to life. You did the same for me. She pulled back, cupping his face. We saved each other. And in that moment, in that perfect morning light, Dante Kim, the Mafia boss who'd lost everything, realized he'd gained something far more valuable. Love. Real love. The kind that doesn't run when things get hard. The kind that plants flowers in graveyards. The kind that lasts. Do you believe broken people can find perfect love? Drop a yes in the comments if this story touched your heart. And don't forget to subscribe for more emotional Mafia romance tales.